Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and I finally found a working link to the 5th chapter of the Amonkhet story. Now you're probably thinking, wait, how hard could it possibly be? This is Wizards we're talking about. Well, if you go straight to wizards.com/en/product/Amonkhet/story and then click on episode 5 and then click on read now, you still get an error page. We've had about 48 hours of that. It would appear that either they're using an old title or, well, it's honestly a malformed link anyway because it's missing the language directory and the /magic story directory as part of the link. So I'm not sure what the hell happened there. It's either called The Hand That Moves or it's called Nissa's Trial. I don't know. Maybe that was a working title, ironically named because it's not working right now. But eventually I did find somehow a link that worked. But first, on our last episode of Amonkhet Z, Liliana sat around like a lazy cow while she lied to everybody about wanting to kill a demon that still has a contract out on her. A bunch of ghosts did her job for her, found the place where he might be kind of hiding, they accidentally let him know that she was coming, and then they pissed off Temet. Or, as they put it in the prologue, Nissa discovered hints of Amonkhet's past, a history Nicobolas has overwritten. Now she seeks answers from the god of knowledge, hoping Kefnet can explain the veneer that seems to obscure the plane. Now she was all like in tune with the mana network, whatever, we'll call it the mana internet. So she was all on the internet looking crap up, like what the hell, like what happened here? It seems like there's not a whole lot of green mana, not a whole lot of life here. A lot of corrupted mana, a lot of death going on, a lot of mummies, specifically. So I believe when Nissa and Chandra were out chilling, someone, I forgot who, was like, yeah, you should go talk to Kefnet, Keeper of Knowledge. And they're like, all right. So apparently this is Nissa's story. It starts with her wandering through the empty streets, meandering through hell, as they put it. I don't know, seemed like a nice place to me. But of course, as they put it, well, you look around and you smell and feel and everything, and it's like, hey, what a lovely, beautiful city, palm trees and nice breeze going on, a lot of clear water coming from who the hell knows where because they're in the desert. But then as soon as she closed her eyes and ignored all that, then it's a crap hole. The mana ley lines, as they were, which is the, whole basis of the world, basically, are kind of messed up, seriously need to go see a chiropractor. So apparently, even the mana inside the city was pretty reasonable, but she could tell that right outside the barrier, they're, massively messed up. Now, it didn't feel like the Eldrazi corruption, which really screwed with the mana and the laws of physics. This is more like all the ley lines are being, choked off or something. So Nissa opened her eyes, and paradise reappeared. The leaves, the water, the birds. She closed her eyes again, the slippery snake squeezing its victims. The juxtaposition between the beauty and horror almost brought her to her knees. She opened her eyes and closed them again. The rapid changes, both compelling and nauseating. Hey idiot, I've got an idea. Stop closing your eyes. Oh, there's something wrong with the ley lines of mana. I can sense it every time I close my eyes. Keep your damn eyes open then. I mean, if you can't fix it right now, stop staring at it. Hey, let's see if she takes my advice. She continued her wandering, occasionally stopping to close her eyes and glimpse horror. What an idiot. So she, I believe they said, was basically wandering around aimlessly, just randomly looking for Kefnet. And it says suddenly she opened her eyes and, oh, she was face to face with Kefnet. What a grand coincidence. And of course they say, the large ibis head and the eyes unblinking, its gaze pierced through her. You know what, I'm just going to fast forward. It turns out it's a statue. She almost walked face first into a statue while she was walking around with her eyes closed, looking at the crappy state of the ley lines of mana, because she's an idiot. And then, of course, she's like, what use is knowledge in a world like this? Behind all veils is blight. Only blight. Dude, she is getting deep into this. If I didn't know better, she was going to totally just visit the Amonkhet Hot Topic, get the mascara going, dye her hair black, and mix black mana. But as we all know, somehow she uses blue mana. That hasn't really come up yet. But honestly, I thought she'd emo out, for real. So she apparently finds Kefnet's temple by sheer luck, I guess, because as they stated, she was just wandering around. And she sees like some dude with a book, and she's like, "Sup?" And then he's like, "Oh, don't speak, initiate, you know," and then stops and then clearly tries to read her mind, but she's like, "Nuh-uh. I've been hanging around Jace way the hell too long. That crap ain't gonna work on me." Totally recognized it, totally shut him down. And then he's like, "You're not from here." And then she's like, "Shut up, I want to talk to Kefnet." And then, of course, she starts getting all emo anyway, and she's like, "Maybe I just bring the blight with me. You know, I failed to stop Emrakul, and Zendikar got totally nuked." Okay, first of all, you failed to stop Nahiri specifically. Oh, wait, no, that was on Innistrad. I don't frickin' remember. Whatever, she's like, "Maybe I deserve this because I didn't save my plane." Shut up. God, get over it. So then the story goes to a weird place, which we're not at already, apparently. He's like, "Oh, you have been permitted to attempt the trial of knowledge." So he must have been kind of telepathically on the phone with Kefnet or something. He's like, sending him a little Snapchat, like, "Hey, we got this crazy lady here. What should I do?" And then she's like, "This is some crap. That's not what I came here for." So she just like makes a run for it. He starts chasing her, and then she like flung him up against the stone wall. And then suddenly she's completely blasted by blue light. Then out of nowhere, an angel descended from the sky and starts shooting snakes out of her eyes. Can't make that up. So a bunch of like storm clouds are rolling in and crap, and the angel opened her mouth, and I don't know if it was the angel or Nissa inside her own head, but the line of text says, "I can do anything I want, anything at all, remember that." Well, and then it says, Nissa woke with a scream, sweat already cooling on her brow. Emrakul. At that point, I'm like, I swear to you, if Emrakul shows up in this plane, I'm going to move to a different plane. Like, for example, Yu-Gi-Oh! Plus, anybody wondering how there would be storm clouds if she was inside of a temple? Because I was. You know what? I feel like maybe she's imagining it and she just started the first trial. Dude, some trippy crap is going on. So she's like, "Oh, wait, I'm in a bed." Okay. So she goes to, like, I don't know, move the cover or something? Oh, the blanket or whatever. And it cut her hand because it's so sharp. Because everybody loves sharp blankets. I keep my blankets super sharp. And then apparently the blanket starts cutting her all over. And then she woke up again because of course she did. So then she's like, "Oh my god, I was getting all ripped apart by a blanket monster. Oh my god, something was wrong. Oh wait, I'm underwater." Gee, I wonder if she's still dreaming. I don't even get what's going on, so I'm just going to read it. A slow paralysis creeped, shouldn't it be crept? Whatever. Up her spine, her arms and legs felt glued to the bed, rooted by a merciless force. Something was wrong. She closed her eyes and she could feel the unreality surrounding her. She needed to break free. "I can do anything I want, anything at all. Remember that." Her words. Mine. They're just typing words at this point. Anyway, she like goes Super Saiyan with green energy and light and crap, is no longer paralyzed, starts floating in midair because Super Saiyan. And then she goes, "What can I do?" No, that was the wrong question. What can't I do? She must have been listening to them motivational tapes or something. And then the power swelled inside of her, the mere vessel of her skin unable to contain it, her flesh cracked, ruptured, but she did not care. Her power sustained her. Gee, I wonder if she's still dreaming. Then she's all like, "This is my destiny," which makes no frickin' sense. And then she's losing herself in the power, in the sweet rush of energy and ley line. This is why mana burn is no longer a thing in the game, because like you can mess your crap up. Oh, for God's sake. Nissa woke with a scream. This is like wake up number 6 or something at this point. What the hell? $10 says she's not actually awake. So when she woke up, she's like, "Oh my god, it was like some kind of terrible dream, but I can't remember it." And then, God, then shadows start flowing off the walls, approaching a smooth glide. And she knew their touch meant death, or worse. And she yelled for the others to come, but no sound emerged. Gee, I wonder if she's still dreaming. Oh my god, this is like a bad comedy skit at this point where it's like, and then she woke up, 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 and then it was all a dream, and then she woke up. Oh my god, somebody must have just watched Inception on DVD and then written this story. Except they were like, "I'm gonna make it Inception, except I can do worse." Okay, then she's like hearing her own voice talking to her, giving her advice, because why not? And then she's like paralyzed again. She's like, oh my god, I'm trapped. And I'm just going to read ahead. So finally, she calms the hell down. And she's like, oh, that's right. I remember running into a giant blue room, and they said something about the trial of knowledge. Oh, and then she finally got a damn clue. She's like, oh, there was just one nightmare after another, cascading into each other. Yeah, Cascade is a real annoying mechanic. Why do you think Bloodbraid Elf is banned? Duh, she's an elf, she should know that. So then she finally realized, yeah, this is magic. It's pretty powerful magic, but it's like J-style magic, basically. It's all illusions and crap. And she's like, oh man, wouldn't it suck if somebody ran into this trial completely unprepared? Yeah. But then she's like, you know what? It's magic. It uses mana. It uses ley lines. I'm all about that. I'm about to wreck this crap. So she finds a tiny little like gap in the mana flow or something. I don't know. They're just making this crap up at this point. And then she's floating in the sky. I don't know. This is getting weird as hell. But then she looks down and she's like seeing the swirling purple spell that caused all the nightmare illusions and crap. And she's like, yeah, that's pretty good magic. So then Nissa's like, you know, I am kind of in the middle of this trial, but good time to do some astral projection exploring, we'll say. I don't even know. So they do this whole metaphorical crap. I'll just translate it because honestly it's plain as day. Nicol showed up and like really messed with the ley lines of the world. Then there was 8 gods, and you might recall there's now 5, and he didn't kill the other 3, but he like kind of took some of their power and replaced what's left with like sheer malevolence. So we might see 3 evil gods in Hour of Devastation. That'd be kind of cool. And then she saw just hundreds of thousands of mummies digging in a deep pit in the desert, pulling out blue ore, like lots of blue ore in a giant blue ore mine. Apparently this is actually in the city too. They just didn't see it yet, I guess. Kind of hard to miss a giant hole in the ground. Now, this was leaked ahead of time by one of the staff members. Oops. But that ore is needed to do something to, or like build something for Ob Nixilis, and so he, I guess, is just asleep or not here or whatever while they mine it all. But he needs it for some kind of evil plan, and that's why he came to this plane in the first place and started screwing with it, set up the whole fake, city thing, and then just had the undead start mining it. Oh, and the blue ore is used to build the dice for the fat bags. Hey, the staff said it, not me. Now this can't be good. The whole dark line that was screwing with the like constellations in the sky that like affected the 5 gods that were still there, which clearly was Nicol Bolas. She said, oh, I could see thousands of worlds all linked by that dark line, so he must have traveled from world to world to world to world to world before he got to Amonkhet, so who knows how many planes he messed up. So she's kind of starting to see like what happened, but not in a very clear way. And she does see like a bunch of giants covered in metallic blue stomping through the streets, I guess when he was totally wrecking up the plane or whatever, unless she's seen the future, who knows. And then an angel starts descending from the sky again, and it was the one that reminded her of Emrakul for some reason. So she opened her eyes, and guess what? Angel's still there. This time, though, instead of shooting snakes out of her eyes, it was much more pleasant blank white orbs. And they were landing in front of Nissa, apparently. This is getting trippy as balls. And then the angel told her, why do you dally? I showed you the ways of power. Use them. Probably blue mana. I'm just going to call it right now. So then the angel's like, are you a pawn or are you a queen? And she's like, who are you? You know what? Actually, forget it. Screw you. Go away. And then they're like, no, seriously, are you a pawn or a queen? Apparently this is like an 80s motivational corporate get-together training seminar. In fact, seriously, this is something a motivational speaker from the 80s would have said. She's like, I don't know. And then the angel's like, no, wrong answer. What? It's the wrong question even. Pawns and queens are all still pieces, and pieces are waiting to be moved. Whoa, just blew your mind. Give me $200, please. And then she continues the motivational seminar by saying, stop being a piece, Nissa. Be the hand that moves. So then there's a big booming sound, and the angel's like, I'm out of here. And then right behind Nissa, a booming voice says, who makes a mockery of my trial? You may recall she was supposed to be fighting the nightmares somehow and passing the trial, and instead she just like tore a hole in the mana and like bailed on it, went floating around. Yeah, Kefnet's kind of pissed. Oh, what do you know? Nissa looked up and a giant ibis is in front of her, cloaked in blue robes with gold trim. I wonder who that is. All they say is, he did not look pleased. Yeah, she's sitting there entering the freaking Konami code, cheating at his little game there. You know, she activated God mode. By the way, calling it right now, the angel is one of the gods that got suppressed by Nicol Bolas's power. Now here's something that's really saying something. So Nissa went up against the Eldrazi Titans before and Demon Mages, but never had she felt so overwhelmed by sheer power as she did standing in front of Kefnet there. So those gods ain't playing. So apparently Kefnet was like, you know what? I don't like you very much. He says something like, you know, knowledge isn't just something I give away freely. You have to earn it, and only the worthy deserve knowledge. You know, typical trial crap. And then he's like, you know what? The unworthy deserve nothing, so I'm going to try to blow your mind apart. So all she could think about was like, no, you're wrong. Clearly you've been corrupted by Nicol Bolas. But he kind of was ignoring that part of her thoughts. So then she discovers that the gods themselves, or well, at least specifically this one, is quite literally made up of the ley lines that make mana flow through the world, or whatever the hell is going on with that. And then she's like, hey, wait a minute, ley lines, I'm good at manipulating those. So she remembered from her visions before, like, you know, Bolas, like, coming in like a snake and screwing with all their ley lines and power and constellations in the sky and whatever the hell else. It was kind of like acid trippy. And she's like, well, I can't undo that. Like, not even with duct tape could she fix that. But she made a little pattern of her own inside of Kefnet's ley lines. So then she's like, oh, I see the thread of ley lines and mana and crap that I was looking for. So she pulled on it and added a new fiber of mana to its mix. Oh, she about to get out a sewing machine or something. And suddenly Kefnet just stood there totally unmoving. Like, she found the off button. Oh, I get what she did, because then he's like, you may go now, Initiate. You have passed your trial. Told ya, cheat codes. She went past cheat codes. She's a downright hacker at this point. In fact, I actually just reported her to the server admins. So she was like, oh my god, that spell was super amateurish and clumsy, but it worked. Which is weird, because it was a god. That's a storytelling tactic called hanging a lantern on it. If you, the reader, thinks that's utterly ridiculous that she just did that, there's no way that just happened, then the character says it like, I can't believe I just did that. And then you don't think it because then they're thinking it, and it seems more like a proper and believable story. Unfortunately, I have seen through the ley lines of mana and the terrible narrative of this story. So then she says, okay, yeah, it was a super amateurish attempt. Can't believe it worked, but there's still a pattern of her own making residing in Kefnet now from her spell. So a thread that she could tug, to what effect she did not know, but she suspected. There would be a time to find out. You know, because it's definitely not time for subtle foreshadowing. And then, of course, the whole experience fixed her entire psychological state. She says she was tired of being a pawn. Yeah, okay, they just mentioned that. She's not going to be a piece anymore. She's going to be the hand. Yeah. And she's done constantly reacting to nightmares and failures. Never ahead, just reacting. Yeah, stop being a sheep. Be a wolf. Get out there and get those sales numbers up. Oh my god, the parallels are just... Oh my god. Oh no, they actually wrote it. Oh, for God's sake. I'm just going to read it so you guys know how bad this story is. And perhaps even a queen was too small a destiny. She heard a voice, her own voice, clear as a crystal bell. Honestly, I don't think a crystal bell would work quite as well as like a brass one, but whatever. Be the hand that moves. I'm going to hand out bumper stickers that say that to all the salesmen. Wait, no, a motivational poster that they could hang up in their cubicle. So it turns out she wasn't really flying. Called it. She dispelled all the illusions around her because Kefnet wasn't causing them anymore, so the spell didn't have any fuel. And she was actually still standing in the same room that she had entered, this time without the blasting blue light. Oh, and the dude with the book is gone too, I guess. And then she just walks outside. That's like literally, that's what happens. That's the end of the story. They clearly didn't want that to be the end of the story, so they said she pushed at the door back to the city, and it opened. A vista to the bright, dangerous world outside. She stepped through. I mean, hey, if the ending is, and then she walked out the door, you might as well try to dramatically stylize it. So this story was weird as balls. It did progress the story a little bit, kind of hinted at the history. I kind of liked it overall, even though it was kind of hard to follow. I got where they were going. This honestly was one of the better chapters, I guess, even though it was just weird as hell. If you really want to get like the full artistic impact of it, which this is true for any of them, definitely go read it. I'll try to put the actual link down in the description, the one that actually brings you to the story, not the one on their website that says read now. So you know what's funny? They kept hinting at the fact that everything she's doing might teach her how to manipulate blue mana, because like green mana isn't good enough in Amonkhet. But not really. I think it's going to have something to do with like her controlling Kefnet, or Kefnet teaching her something at the end of all this, or, well, not really the end, because Hour of Devastation, that part still has to happen, so I'm not sure. Should be very, very interesting, though. I mean, this is one of the better chapters written so far, honestly, even though I'm super picky because I super used to be a high-end editor for a giant super company. I mean, if there's like a book or a short story that's perfect, I haven't found it, so this is what I would call good enough. So I have an idea for future chapters. All the idiots from the Gatewatch should stop running around doing their own thing, not working together, lying to each other, and having zero synergy. They need to up that synergy in their workplace. Productivity, efficiency, and sales. I can't get that out of my mind. It was so frickin' 80s motivational. I can't get past it. So anyway, can't wait for the next story, and I do believe that somewhere else on a completely different website that I don't give a crap about because they love fragmenting information, there's an actual schedule. So let me look for that real quick. Wow, the entire website Reddit claims it's down for maintenance. Holy crap. You know what, screw it, I can't find it. I'll just wait for them to release it sometime. I don't know, whatever. I know there's 3 more chapters to go, though. I think there was a pretty damn big gap. It was sometime in May, I think, for the next one, so don't hold your breath. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this wonderful, well, my version of the chapter at least, and I'll see you guys next video.